Hey, good morning, and you joined me this morning on Creag Meagaidh in the Scottish mountains. So I've walked in this morning. I left the car park about 6:30 this morning, walked in up the valley, and it's now 8:25, so just under 2 hours to get here with a little bit of filming. It's a beautiful morning. And I'm thinking of heading up Raeburn's Gully, but I need a few things to come together. I brought my wing as well, so with any luck I'll climb Raeburn's Gully, fly off the top back to the car and get back down in time for Sunday lunch. But a few things need to come together, so I need this gully to be climbable. So I've had a look at the avalanche forecast yesterday, and the avalanche forecast seems to suggest that there are some patches of wind slab around. But it's been blowing, the wind's been swirling around the corrie, so the avalanche forecaster's blog suggested that if you can see, it's avoidable, and I've got good visibility today, so I'm hoping I'll be able to see any patches of wind slab and avoid those. I also need the snow to be firm enough to be climbable, and I need the gully to be complete, and I could see on the walk in that the gully line was complete. But I can't really see if there's any wind slab up there, and I don't know what the snow's like. So I'll head on in and see what I find. And then I need light winds on the top to be able to fly down. So even if I get to climb it, no guarantee I'll be able to fly off. And in fact, the wind is a bit stronger now than the Met Office suggested it would be at this time this morning. So it might be a walk off, but it might even just be a walk back from here. We'll see. So I'm going to gear up, put my crampons on, get my axe out, and then yeah, up we go. So it's good snow so far, nice and firm. There's actually some steps in it from people from yesterday, so at the moment it's looking good. Of course, the paradox with these gullies is if it's avalanche safe, it'll be firm snow, which means the consequence of a slip is much greater. So you're always weighing up that, is it avalanche safe? But then if it's really firm snow, which is completely avalanche safe, the consequences of a slip are huge. So it's that winter climbing paradox, I guess. Getting some stunning views that way now. A couple of ravens floating around with me as well. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras because I have juiced the drone. 3 batteries. I think it's the cold just destroys the battery life. So apologies, the footage won't be quite as pretty, but nonetheless, keep telling the story to the top. Little scoop of wind slab on this right hand side, so I'm just making sure that's not going to be anything to worry about. Good firm snow on the left, so I can head left. Oops, up the camera. So I just came out of the gully up onto the buttress. I just felt that the gully was just loading a bit with snow, and it was like a steep step, and I had to get to it via some wind slabs. So I came out left onto the buttress, which the guidebook mentions actually. It's called Raeburn's Gully Buttress. So I've managed the avalanche risk through my choice of terrain, keeping out of the gully where the wind is collecting the snow. It made the climbing probably a little bit harder. I just decided that was the lower risk, falling off rather than getting avalanched. But yeah, it was exciting. It was quite steep. So just the little headward to go. No cornice, so we'll head on up. So I hope it's pretty obvious that soloing these gullies is the most dangerous way of climbing them, in as much as if you slip and go, the consequences are enormous, and people get killed every year falling down stuff like this. So I'm happy coming out and soloing this, but I would have been happy to turn around if I wasn't. But that's because I've got lots of harder ground in hand, and I'm lucky to be doing this full time and have done it for as long as I can remember. So if you want to get out into Grade 1 gullies for the first time, the way to do that safely is on the end of a rope. So either go out with somebody who's more experienced than you and can teach you how that's done, or go out on a course. And the rest of this week I'm running a 5-day climbing course, mountaineering and climbing, and if we bring clients onto this sort of ground, we'll be on a rope the whole time, and that's how we manage the consequences of a slip. So yeah, don't just jump onto Grade 1 gullies for your first time ever solo without recognising what the hazards are. Well, there we have it, my summit, and as you can see, there is no question about flying down. It is super windy. They couldn't have got the forecast more wrong. So it's another day where I take the wing for a walk, and I'm glad it's as light as it is. But who cares? It is stunning. So I've come off the summit, and it's it was quite windy on the top, but I've come part of the way down and it's a lot less windy here. So I've clipped in, ready to fly, and then some clouds rolled in down the valley, so I can't see my landing field, so I'm holding off. We'll see if it clears, and if it does, I can fly. And if it doesn't, I'll pack up and carry on walking. Okay, so let me just chat you through what my plan was and then what I've ended up having to do. So I've walked in up this valley here. This is Corriadair, and then Raeburn's Gully comes up here, up onto this plateau. So my plan then had been to fly off the top. So my plan was to fly off here, come back out, back down to where I took off from, into here. But it was just too windy on the top, so I've traversed across this little bit of a skyline and just lost a little bit of height down into here, and then I've flown from here to come back down into where I've parked. And I was quite surprised just how much of a wind gradient there was, just losing this little bit of height. So the summit is just over the 1,000 metre mark, and I've dropped down just below 800 metres. It's made a huge difference. Convert that into a map, into 2D mode, top of the map pointing north. We've got southerly winds coming from here, and it was just blowing like mad across the top, and just losing that little bit of height, and I've been able to fly off down into here. And you can see there are some green fields here, but actually they're really small and full of livestock, so I've ended up landing just in here and then just walking the last few hundred metres back into the car. Magic! Wow, fantastic. A little hop. Save the knees. Another absolutely stunning, beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for watching.